Oh, hello. How are y'all doing? What's going on? Welcome to podcast, everybody who is, welcome to ideaPRTY Podcast, everybody who is watching right now. I'm your host, Grandson Crawford, and I'm with Ali.
Hey.
We're going to be here. We're also here with the awesome special guest, percussionist, podcaster, and person of interest for this episode. Please give a warm digital welcome to Ryan Knudsen.
Hey.
What's going on? Hello.
Settle down out there.
Okay, all right, we'll settle down.
I got excited.
So wild.
I was gonna pull on my drum pad and do my little solo for you, but I'm still good. I'm just practicing. I'm practicing.
We should do a live version under the sea. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
The three of us. Well, you guys know we come together every week, and we have an awesome guest. I'm honored to have Ryan here. We've been friends for a while. He's done some incredible things. And we just have a fun time with ideas. We just kind of throw some ideas out there, either a film, a TV series, or a product, which could be, a theme park or different things like that. So we usually take this time to check in with the guest and find out what you want to start with. What are you thinking? Are you thinking a film? Are you thinking a product? Are you thinking a TV series?
Ooh. Are those my three options?
Those are your three options.
Yeah.
And again, product could be anything. Could be like fucking video game or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I wrote a couple of things down. I was trying to think of some
Ooh.
ideas.
And I also can throw you kind of a bone, and I have three just names.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that.
Hear them?
Sure,
All right,
sure.
Cool. So the first one I have is red satin. I have no idea what that is, but we can find out.
Well, it's like between like orange satin and
red satin. It
sounds like Pinkberry, but it's like a clothing outlet. It's like make your own clothes. You pick your buttons.
Oh my god.
Okay. I got another one.
Okay.
Best kissed.
Best kissed.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Best kissed. And then we have wild child. Red satin is your stripper name, Sapo.
Best is it kissed? Kissed, like in the past tense?
Yes, as in past tense kissed.
I'm really attracted to that idea right now for several reasons. I've been locked in my house. Been locked in my house for months.
You've
it just sounds.
Why? Is something going on out there?
Well, and also, I had to close up my kissing booth, which is a large income stream for me.
I can imagine.
Shut down.
Yeah.
So, and I've been trying to kick it off the ground again, but people just aren't coming like they used to do that. That's kissed. Let's go with red satin.
Okay, all right. You switched it up. He's like, I want to go with best kissed, but also red satin. Red satin or best kiss could come up later. We don't know.
Maybe they're in tandem.
So red satin, is it a TV show? Is it a product?
Ooh, this feels like a. It really feels like a brick and mortar shop.
Okay.
I don't know yet what they sell, but it sounds like a business that I'm going to go to.
I like that idea though, red satin, about like it being like a bespoke clothing place. That's really good. We're like, you said that totally makes sense. You walk in, it's almost like Clueless in the movie Clueless, where she picks out her outfit. But it's like Clueless. Yeah, and you go in there. It's a building, a brick and mortar, two shops maybe. You go into like two different things. Or I don't know.
Let's make it for today's. But let's make it socially distanced. We're talking robots.
Ooh,
we're talking just like Clue. I like your idea of Clueless, where it's like they have the little screens, where you can try all the different outfits, I like bespoke.
Yeah, and then they just like they come out on like exactly like you pick your whole outfit. You walk in a schlub. You're like, oh, I have an interview. You go in. You have like a menu for the interview area, and like it's like all the fancy clothes, and then there's an area where you can go for like, oh, just want a casual or a night out.
Right, and I like face mask brick
and mortar place.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Like they can sell like high-end face masks.
It's like an ATM. It's like a closed ATM.
A closed ATM, red satin. You pick out your outfits, goes through all the different. It's seasonal.
Regional. Do they sew it in the back like really quick?
I think, yeah, I just watched The Mandalorian in its entirety. It was a great experience.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm thankful and blessed to have experienced that in my life.
In my lifetime, yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing it up now is because there's robots and stuff for everything. Like there's droids doing stuff. And it's like I want that in our lives.
Yeah.
And now we really need that. We need that. We need droids that we can just kind of like spray with the sanitizer between touches. And then he's doing your tailoring. He's measuring you out.
Did you guys see the before everything got locked up in Corona? Postmates was having little robots go around delivering stuff.
Yeah,
it was like it would just take it to your order. And I used to see the programmers, but some people had already gotten delivered Postmates meals and stuff
by robot. I thought, and I like it too because they're like right now they're still in like the beta phase of that. So it's just there's a little robot that's being followed by like a guy on a Lime scooter.
Yeah. There's a guy with a remote car thing he's just like got an RC remote who's just following it and is like,
Your job is to train this robot to do the job that you could be doing.
That's a hell of a job too. Like I would love that job. Just to follow a robot around, make sure it doesn't kill anybody.
Yeah. Just kind of like race it. I wonder what their top speed is. Okay. So
69 miles an hour.
So red satin.
It's real fast.
It would be what do we like? What would a red satin commercial look like?
Ooh.
Or do commercials? Is red satin a brand that's word of mouth?
I mean, yeah, but I think there online. You'd probably have like an advertising campaign, right? Where
totally
you throw it out there. I mean, I think I think you have a nice clean. I mean, in satin you have a very clean fabric, but you have a nice clean the satin. You just throw it down. It's all sexy.
I think the ad campaign on mobiles, like mobile ad, would be like choose your own adventure advertisement. You touch through because it's like you're gonna choose your own adventure when you come into red.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
You're picking on it. You get to scroll through the options of different things. But
so yeah, I mean, and the good thing is like if we're doing it shows it right there. Maybe it doesn't, or maybe you take your order on. Oh no, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe you take your order before, but go ahead.
You step into one of those tubes and and it gets all your measurements. So when you go and check the clothes out in virtual, like on like a virtual screen or something like that. I keep being way out off the screen, but I mean, then it knows your sizes already. So it's looking at, you're like sizing yourself up.
It's putting the shirt on you. It's VR. Yeah. Oh my God. It's like a VR thing.
Ooh, that's cool.
You can look at your clothes. How do I look? You look in a mirror. It's your face.
Boom.
In the VR mirror, right? And you're walking around this space. So it's a VR experience.
VR.
Try on
That's awesome. And then you can be like, I like this tux, but I want these lapels to be, I want them to be red satin or black satin or instead of whatever they are. And then it's just like
the character selection in Grand Theft Auto, how that you can like
and
stuff.
Because for some reason, which is funny because they always have like different outfits you can pick for them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if in the newest one, they all have different outfits you pick from. So it's like, he wouldn't wear a suit. Get out of here. And it's like, I want him to wear a cheap suit. I want Franklin to wear a cheap suit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want him to wear a cat head. That's who he is now. You know what I mean? This is the part of the game where he's a cat.
The only thing I'm afraid of is that McDonald's commercial phenomena where like you see a McDonald's commercial and the burgers look so good, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get one and it's like all crumpled up in an ass, like comes out, it's all flattened out and stuff. So it's like I'm afraid that people are gonna love the commercials. They're gonna come into red satin. They're gonna look at themselves VR and be like, "Oh man, this is amazing." And then they get it. It's got to be of high quality.
Oh, it's got to be like the highest. That's why I don't think it's immediate. You do the VR experience a week later. They ship it to your house.
Boom.
from it's not even there. You were going in to get fitted and put yourself in the clothes in a VR, and then a week later it gets shipped to your house from a robot.
They don't ship anything in the future. It's 3D printed.
Oh shit!
Come on!
It 3D prints on its way to your house.
Will they be able to 3D print fabric? On its way to
There's no reason that doesn't take any less time. That's so funny.
That's gonna be crazy. Will they be able to 3D print fabrics? Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy because fabric is like all these woven threads, you know.
They can 3D print like microfiber stuff.
Yeah, it would be microfiber. It would be like a really fucking strong plastic or something. But yeah, or something like that. I mean, we could create our own fabric.
Yeah.
A brand new scientific
fabric.
I mean, we're Bluetooth capable with power bank.
We're going as unlimited budget today. So if we had all the budget in the world to make this happen, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's no we're not holding back. It's if we're going in, we're going all the way. Yeah, we'd create a new fabric. We'd get a team of scientists together, find the cheapest, quickest fabric that you can make.
Yeah.
But like everything is bespoke from head to toe. You can make hats, you can make like everything down to like accessories, like you said, like lapel pins. Very detailed. So it's that detailed, like when you're creating your own character in a video game. Yep. But maybe like when you're in the VR thing is where you're going to like a closet and you're going through all the shirts and then you can change the color and then all this other. So it's like in the controls.
Yeah. And with the choose your own adventure, it would kind of like you could break it up into categories where, because like people are like looking for fashion for sports apparel or looking for fashion for like business trips, and then basically when we're gonna get ready, but basically you see the video that goes into that. So you're like, I want to do sports. So it's someone like hiking up a trail, and you're kind of like in this, kind of movie almost.
They can put you into different backgrounds.
Yeah, and you get to like, maybe the end of it, you get to kind of like see yourself and your outfit.
So yeah, you're changing the lighting. So like if I'm in a nightclub now, like I'm gonna wear this out in a nightclub, and then you're in a nightclub.
So is there an we're getting like so into like the Second Life aspect of this, where it's starting to feel like Red Satin is like a Second Life experience where you design all your clothes for the video game, and then you have the opportunity to buy those clothes.
Yeah,
and they'll 3D print them. So like it's more like a video game life experience.
Oh,
then you can buy. It's like kind of like branding, like on air brand. When you're playing the game, you're doing all these things and you're living your Second Life, and like you're designing the clothes as you go, and you're seeing them in real life environments, and then you're like, bloop, purchase, and then it's like it's sent to your house.
I have a story about Second Life. When I first got to LA, this guy, one of the guys I live with, was like a country western singer, and he played Second Life and he made spaceships in Second Life. And if he sold 2 in a day, he would make $40 that day. And he would use that so that he could support his alcohol problem.
40 American USD dollars.
Yeah, real dollars. Like
he would sell them for real money to people.
$20, yeah, $20 real dollars for a like video game spaceship. So if Red Satin was like this virtual social experience,
right,
in different settings. So say you want to be in nature.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Out with those people, and you're like, oh, cool. Where did you get that? And it'd be like, oh, I got that from this new update. They got new outfits from Red Satin, and
so cool. You could send your image into other people's games and stuff, like into bars or scenes like that, and people could like rate what you're wearing, and then you could be like, oh, people hated that color combination. Right? I'm not going to order that for myself for the real world.
Yeah,
didn't even go off in virtual reality.
Yeah, people hated that shit.
Oh my god, people
laughing when they walked by. They were laughing at me at the club.
Weird. Can't wear white coat and tails to the beach in virtual reality.
Yeah, it could be like a kit where like you get a 3D, like there's a 3D printer component to it. So if you do end up liking it and want to print it out, you can either like print the design or send the design to a local fabric person, or print, t-shirt printer or something like that or whatever. And they make it there. That way you're making jobs.
Yeah, that's kind of, it has that same element. Have you guys played like the Jackbox games?
Yeah.
There's that game that's the crazy t-shirt design thing, where it's like it's a funny like goof off game. It's very silly, but at the end of that game, you can buy, like, you and the people and your friends can buy those shirts that you made in that game.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So you can actually, it's always just like different pictures of boobs and penises and stuff that people have done, and then we're silly.
Yeah,
but you can actually buy those stupid shirts. Like, so this is kind of that, only it would be badass, bespoke. We're talking about synthetic materials. We're talking about all kinds of multicultural backgrounds to the clothing. You can bring in all kinds of stuff.
And all the tech aspect of it being delivered to your house by robot. You never have to touch anybody, talk to anybody. You don't have to leave your house even. You just like you can do it all from your home. I mean, the measurement thing would be the only thing they would actually have to go somewhere for in real life. But like, so are we creating a whole new? So we're creating Second Life right now. So are we into an app now? Also,
I think we're making clothing into an experience versus just a product.
Because I don't think it would necessarily be like a video game that you'd play for hours, but I think like like you know how like today if you want to go buy if you want to go buy clothes at a store, you go and you just look around, and then you try them on, and then you walk out. But this would be like you go in, and instead of trying on, like instead of you just go into a virtual reality room or whatever, and then you're like oh, I'm looking for clothes to go out on the out to clubs tonight or whatever. So you put that into the machine, and then you just try outfits on, and that's like so it's not really like a video game as much as it's like experiential training maybe. But
you could switch what lobby you want to be in. So one lobby again would be like nightclub or like gallery or something
hiking or whatever that is you want.
And then the people who are also in it trying on stuff are real people too.
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking at you.
And they
can see you. They can judge you.
They can see you. You make it sound so creepy. And they can see you in broad daylight.
They can see who you are.
Well, but I love that. Like they would do a facial, like it would be like a helmet, and then they would like do like a facial scan, so they have you in the thing, like real fucking time. Like that'd be so cool. That'd be
awesome.
That'd be pretty cool. And then you could try on anything and not feel foolish, and anything that like you can choose in different colors. Like, oh, in this lighting, this looks this way. And so we would have to like scan all the clothes and all the different lightings and options of different colors and stuff like that, so that we could get the most real looking, feeling thing. Because I think that would really sell it, is if it, even in the VR, it's like it's you. There's not some avatar that you've created. It does a face scan, or like something crazy. So we could even have like a peripheral thing. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but like something that like scans your face, so that like you're in.
There might be a privacy block, like maybe you're going there to try on like clothes for the opposite sex or something like that, and you want a little privacy. You could probably choose an avatar too. You could like use a big lobster head, big Batman head, Colonel Sanders head, Pringles can man.
3 choices of your heads, but go ahead.
I like it. Okay, so what if it's like an app, a virtual mall? So you can try on from different designers. You bring in designers, and you go, from different designers, I can get this made by Vera Wang, and she's going to send it to my house, and it's going to be bespoke. And then this over here, I could go to like the Gap because, hey, it's more my price point. So there's like all these, you can create like a virtual mall.
Yep.
That's what it is. So nobody has to go to the mall anymore. You could try on everything in your home from all these different companies, and you're good to go. And
so now you're talking like an umbrella technology that you're gonna like a subscription-based technology to designers.
Because they have to pay
for designers. And then the designers, you don't have to like. It's the same thing where you don't have to. You just buy the game off the marketplace, off like the Sony or Xbox marketplace, and it's a virtual mall that you can make deals with like real designers.
That'd be pretty cool because that would cut down on designers' overhead for having actual shops.
Exactly, and they would only have to.
We don't need shops anymore.
Make a certain amount of like and that would be the thing. Red Satin is like the name of this virtual mall.
Red Satin.
In that way you could change out any designer you want whenever, and like have different like incomes, and they can have different like, oh, now it's the fall line, and now that it's constantly fucking changing too. It's not
the only bummer about a virtual mall, no food court. The best part
virtual food court.
But you know what? It's like we're not even gonna have like public food anymore after this whole thing.
It's like sealed. Like sealed containers that were never touched by humans.
Exactly. We're not going to have any more public
comes by and slides the tray under your door.
Exactly.
So here's brownies again.
Nobody's here to judge you. Just me. I'm a robot. I could care less.
Brownies delivered to your house 2 days in a row. Not saying anything.
Not judging you. Just keeping a accurate tally of how many times we ate brownies this week.
Just keeping it 100.
seven times in 5 days.
The robot,
no judgments, just counting.
No judgments, just recalling.
Recording information.
The
That's my
robot.
duty.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
That would be.
I do like the aspect of Red Satin where the robots aren't judgmental of us.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's a bummer that they already look down to us. They only know numbers and stuff, and my computer's looking at me real sad right now. It's just like
they only know numbers.
You could do so much with your life, but you're here
yeah.
talking about virtual food courts. But yeah,
this is where things are going anyways. Everything's going to be, especially after this whole coronavirus thing. It's like we're like how many more screens can we get into, public places? That's what it's going to be.
Yep. How can we start doing Zoom, but make it so you have to pay to make it ad free or some shit? Can you imagine that? I imagine at some point Zoom can be like, what's up? But they make
little ads in the corner.
Yeah.
Over 2 hours as a crew. How what was it? Oh crap! I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
What?
Forget it.
Well, what's good is you just got into a question. Which go ahead, Ali.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Since we're stuck, we could go into question corner.
Question corner.
Ooh, I love it. I love corners.
Yeah, this is where we get to ask our guests some things. I know you, so I'm definitely curious about what's been going on with your life. You are supposed to be married right now.
That's true. I was supposed to be married right now,
and you're not. Where were you going to get married?
Me and my fiance were going to get married in Ireland, and it did not happen. It's where we got engaged. It's where we were going to get married in the same town where her great grandmother immigrated from, like almost 100 years, almost to the day. And so we were gonna be there. It was gonna be amazing, but it got coroned.
On case of
What's your favorite part about Ireland?
Ooh, lots of stuff, man. It is a magical place. But I think the place I was most inspired, just like weirdly inspired, if you ever get a chance to go to Ireland, is take the time and take the day trip out to the island of Inishmore. It's spelled INIS space MOR, and it's just incredible, man. It's one of the most beautiful and like mystical places. It's like where all the druids did stuff out there back. I was
going to say druids. That sounds like a druid hang for sure.
You go out there and you're just like you get that feeling of like there's magic here. There's fairies somewhere out. They're looking at me right now. I can feel it.
That's druid, right? That's druid. Yeah.
That smells like a druid. I think that, yeah.
Smells like a druid.
Lick the rocks. And you're like,
I like that. That druid was really into the rocks.
But that place was incredible. I loved. I was really we fell in love with Ireland when we were there a couple of years ago now for Christmas, and that's where we got engaged. And it was just it was awesome. I came back and I composed like percussion ensemble pieces for schools and things like that. And I immediately wrote this piece called Inishmore. It was all inspired by that and stuff. So it was just it got in my bones when I was there. Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who would you say, as a fellow percussionist, it has been a influential percussionist to you? Like, who is the Martin Luther King of percussionists?
Oh, jeez. Martin Luther King.
In percussion.
Who brought peace to the percussion is what he's asking.
Who was going to judge a percussionist not by the color of his skin?
Yeah. So many percussionists. So I'm really into Afro-Cuban and Brazilian percussion. I had a mentor named Michael Spiro that really set me off on that track when I was in college. Wow. But there's a lot of percussionists that I'm fanatical about and love and like study and try to rip off their licks and all that kind of stuff. But there's a guy that everybody in my field knows nowadays who's just a bad man currently on the scene, and his name is Pedrito Martinez. He's just a conga player that's just insane and fun. Like I can watch him play for hours and hours. It's just a real freak of a leak. But I could go on about drummers all day long. There's so many influential drummers.
In comedy, there's because you said steal his licks.
Yeah.
Is that like in comedy that if somebody was like, I watched him, I try and steal his jokes, but in percussion, that's like an honor.
It is, yeah. Well, because everything comes from vocabulary. It's just like any language. That's the thing about music. I think that comedy has different rules because you're talking about such specifics, but you're still talking about beat. You're using the same fundamental things. You're talking about beats. You're talking about tone. You're talking about cadence. So, but like in percussion, it's like, you know, it's the same as any language. Like you have your alphabet and you have your small, simple words, and then, you know, and it starts all the same. But so like, especially like in Brazilian and like any musics that are like Afro rooted that come through to either Cuba or Brazil or New Orleans and then all of America and stuff. There's so anything that's like Afro rooted like that, they're like all the rhythms and the instruments are like so drenched in history and tradition that there's no like me, Ryan, the like, you know, half Mexican white boy from Kansas is gonna like invent a new way to play congas. You know, it's like
it's like sampling. It's like sampling and paying tribute.
Well, it's just like, you know, you learn, like you have to have that respect and learn it, and then that becomes your vocabulary, and then you're part of like a lineage that way, you know. So you're not ripping anybody off. You're sharing in that culture, you know.
Yeah,
you're passing along the culture.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to
So
try to be a steward for that stuff. Yeah.
And now I've had the honor of being on your podcast and also being a co-host and getting some guests on your podcast.
Of course, fan favorite.
Ryan is super strong. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a little bit about what I love about that podcast, and then I will let you talk about it.
Okay.
I love that it kind of merges this refreshing sense of positive and comedic, because it doesn't. It's like light about itself, but it's also like super fun and positive. What kind of made you come up with this like inspirational comedy? Where did the idea spark from?
Well, so I mean, I'll try to give you like a condensed version of the long story or whatever, but it's like I was at a percussion convention called PASIC several years ago, maybe like 8 years ago or something like that. The last time I went, and I was out with some of the Drummer Magazine people and things like that. And we were having a dinner with a bunch of different representatives of different art, instruments and like all this different stuff. And we were talking and like having, just drinking and having a good time that night. And then some of the guys were talking to me and they're like, yeah, I really like your like some of your ideas on like music and business and like how to make start an economy for yourself in a new city and all this stuff that we were talking about that night. And you should start a blog, And so I was like, okay. And so my problem with it was I don't like reading blogs. I don't really like sitting and writing. It's not very therapeutic to me. Like so I was just kind of talking. I was like, yeah, I don't want to put something out that I'm going to feel like is homework, And
everything about a blog you were not into.
Exactly. I was like, I don't want to like put something out that I don't also want to ingest. And like, well, what do you like? And I was like, well, podcasts. I like podcasts a lot. And they're like, oh, sweet. So you could do like a drummer podcast where you interview drummers and talk about drum gear and all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, that sounds cool, but like, I'm not really a big gear nerd, and I don't mean that as a pejorative to you if you are a gear nerd.
Yeah,
but
to the audience,
just not really me. It just wasn't really me, and so I was just like, I took like a night to think about it, and the next night we were hanging out again, and I was like, I live in LA, I have all these cool like comedian and actor friends and musicians of all, not just drummers, and they're like, well, we can't really get sponsored ads for percussion stuff and drums if you have all these other influences and stuff. And I was just like, okay, that's all right, but I want to do that show anyway, so I'm just going to do it myself. And so I basically came up with the idea of Ryan is super strong as a joke. It's really a comedy, silly interview podcast for all kind of up and coming entertainers. And then it just became like this very silly, like, here's an opportunity for me to hang out with my friends or people that I've just met on the bandstand or in rehearsals and stuff, and get an opportunity to hype their stuff, their music, and like their shows that are coming out, but also, selfishly for me to get a chance to, fortify or enrich my relationships with people. Like you, Grandison, are such a great example of that for me. Like we were friends, and then we started doing the podcast and just started goofing around so much that we'd be, I'd come and see your shows all the time, and we just became really good friends just by doing that podcast and being silly for a long time.
Yeah.
So
because it was never like a thought process. If I was free, I was gonna come and do your podcast, whether I was like a guest or just like had brought somebody on. So
for sure.
It was like, oh yeah, I get to go hang out with Ryan, which everybody's trying to balance like their social and work life. Like, do you find this, Ali? Where you're like, if the people I work with could also be really cool, I would be super down for that. So you get to make friends. Now, was there anybody who you've had on the podcast who you're like, I can't believe I got that person on to talk with me? Or have you ever had someone surprisingly know about your podcast?
Yeah, both of those things have happened. Yeah, I mean, pretty early on, I had the comedian Todd Glass on the show, and that was a really cool get. And he he invited us over to his place to do it and stuff, and that was really fun getting to meet him because I've always loved his comedy and his craziness and stuff, and then for him to invite us over and just like, yeah, I'll sit down with you. And then he said he would give us like 20 or 30 minutes, and we ended up recording for like almost 2 hours and hanging out there for an hour. And just and then he just gave me some really cool advice and was very encouraging afterwards and stuff. And so that was really fun. Randomly people will I remember I was doing a recital. I had a buddy that was doing a doctorate at USC, and he asked me to play drums for the recital. And we were standing outside before the thing, and we were just talking. And somebody came around, like a group of like some college students, like 3 people came around the corner, and they were like, "Are you Ryan and Super Strong?" And I was like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "Yeah." They like had recognized my voice because I'm a loud man.
Yeah, you're great.
So they were like, "Oh, that was really cool."
That's awesome.
Just like silly stuff like that, I don't know, random people like that.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Percussionist Letty Garcia came on, and he called me to like say that he loved the podcast and stuff one day, and he was one of my colleagues that I'd known about. He played for Chaka Khan and Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and all these different people over the years. And so he was one of these guys that I was like, I know, and I'd like run into him in the scene here and there, but I didn't really want to ask him to be on my silly show. So when he called me and was like, hey, he asked me about something else. And he's like, oh, by the way, I love your show, man. I listened to this episode and this episode. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? Do you want to come on? And it gave me like the balls to, invite him on. And he came on, and was a real hoot. But yeah, so
awesome, man. It must feel good to kind of like do something that's just starts off as fun, and then get to involve people who you respect, admire, and like enjoy.
Big time. Yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, like I said, it's just been an opportunity for me to, I feel like in a big old city like LA, like you might meet somebody that you really like you and me, for example. We met literally on the street one time, and really didn't really have like, who knows if we would have hung out again. But I was like, oh, let's have him on the podcast or whatever. And and like like when I meet people that I do a lot of one-off performances with artists and stuff, and it's cool to meet somebody and then go like, oh, they're really cool, I should have them on the show. And then it gives you an opportunity to have somebody over, have a beer, goof around, do it, and then you just become friends, and it helps networking a lot.
And like in acting, you'll meet people several times from different auditions, but you don't really know them. Like you might say what's up to them if you see them out and about, but your real only relationship is like, oh, I see you at auditions. There's so many people like that, or I played with you once. But when you can kind of have people, I always tell people, it doesn't matter what you want to do in life. Make sure that you are doing it with people you enjoy.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. If you want to be the richest rich person on the planet, at least have the people that you do that with be cool. Because otherwise, why?
Yeah. We're going to put up with it for.
Yeah. What's the point?
That's one of the biggest benefits up until now of being the independent contractor is like, being able to choose who I work with on any given day, and more importantly, who I don't work with, which you only learn through experience and how people talk and who to work with and why and what, how to watch out for yourself. But I think that's true. Being able to pick who you work with is such a huge thing to think about.
Yeah. What would you tell the future percussionists of the world?
Ooh, I would tell the future percussionists of the world to find your own path. Find your own route, because a lot of mentors, for better or worse, kind of try to do like a printing press of themselves, because that's what got them to where they are or whatever. Yeah. I was extremely fortunate to have a couple of mentors that were like complete opposite of that. They were very much like you're not me, like I'm me. Like you can find your sound, find your abilities, find what you're passionate about, and develop your own. Like you can't do all the gigs that I did. There's no like magic recipe, So you have to build it yourself. You have to figure it out, and you have to build your own path and walk it,
Nice. Yeah.
So, good advice.
It's tricky because like you want to take advice from your mentors and it's very easy to over trust or put your mentors on a pedestal when they say the only way to get success is this, and it's like it's hard not to take that advice to heart, but you have to be have the wherewithal within you to be like, that worked for you, but now it's 2020 or 2030 or 2040 or whatever it is. Like, things are different.
Well, also because life is not a syllabus.
No,
you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to like. There's not this organized chunk in the chaos that you can just be like, do this and happiness, or do this and success.
Yeah. Unless you know somebody or you're somebody's nephew.
Yeah,
things are a little easier for you.
Yeah, unless you're popular like Ali, you know what I mean? Unless everybody knows your name.
How easy life is. No, but hey, walking in your own shoes is like the best advice, especially for a virtual mall, because then you could walk in,
boom,
try on 1,000 different shoes, and you can be like, I designed these shoes.
Yeah. Right. Now. So we have so basically Red Satin is a proprietary software for a virtual mall that brands can have
subscribe to.
They can, by season, change their line and get all these deals with different designers and basically have people try on clothes. The only thing you're missing is a food court.
Yeah.
That's it. That's one of the taglines is, the only thing you're missing is a food court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a potluck. The potluck of malls.
And there's a thrift shop where you can like put your old clothes up and people can buy them.
Well, I mean, like in terms of you have to have your own food.
Oh yeah. Also yes. But we have a different app for that where this robot's going to deliver you food.
Yeah.
It's going to come and feed it to you.
It's part of it.
Different thing. We'll talk about that in another episode.
No, I mean, because in it, granted, Red Satin, we're going to be doing clothes, it's designer stuff. But if you partnered with a company and made it so if you went to a Taco Bell in the virtual mall, then
delivered it to your house.
Of that would be delivered to your house. So
pretty good, man. That's pretty fucking good. Because
got brain
a virtual food court where you can either walk around or you could like swipe through, same deal, and like change out whoever we have a deal with, and it's either whoever wants it like full time, or we can buy like
regional.
Like you could
have because if you're not a national chain, but you're like can cater to the people that are in that neighborhood.
Hell yeah.
It'd be like kind of like a Grubhub, feature thing.
Totally.
And it'd make the virtual food court so much more interesting than just like Sbarro, that weird Philly cheesesteak place, Charlie's Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
What are the places that are in the mall?
Cheesesteak place.
Charlie's Philly cheesesteak, Sbarro. It's not Panda Express, but it's a Chinese place Chinese food place that's kind of like Panda Express.
Yeah, it's like koala really fast or something like that.
Pickup sticks or whatever.
Koala really fast.
Koala really fast.
Grizzly rapido.
Yeah, exactly. Beach, whatever's local. How bad would we be sued if we made a restaurant and called it Koala Super Fast?
I love that, and it could be talk about regional ideas. That'd be like an Australian chain, and then like that could go all over the nation. There could be what other types of bears are there?
Yeah.
Teddy Graham. It's like a sick cookie shop.
That's good.
So like a fast food vending machine.
Yeah, it's essentially. I mean, I guess so. And then the only thing is like with that, it would be like we'd have to like talk about: are there actual storefronts to these places? Are you walking around?
No, we're using 3D printing. 3D printing. Remember synthetic fabrics.
It gets shipped to your house from a robot. Stop. Pay attention.
Robots and droids. Remember Mandalorian. Remember?
And it actually wouldn't cost as much in terms of like you wouldn't even need you wouldn't need to do sweatshop stuff, Sapo, because you're 3D printing it and delivering it. So people just pick the design that people provide to, and now you have data for big companies, who are trying to be part of the network or whatever.
Look, I'm an easygoing guy, guys, but I did not come here to make a business that, depends on sweatshops.
No.
We'll pay the robots really well.
Forget about the printers.
I said forgot about them.
I did read that very wrong. Forget about the printers.
We're using sweatshops.
Like, no, it's sweatshops.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. All right, so that's huge. That's world changing potentially.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what, a side gig? Will you be CTO, Ryan?
Well, I'm like, are we is there any job creation in this, or how's it maintained? I mean, it's all maintained by humans.
Programmers, yeah.
Programmers.
Yeah, and they're gonna make mistakes, man. They're gonna make robots make mistakes, just like we do. So they're gonna send the wrong person the wrong thing, and then
there's gonna be some new pejorative for like the robot race, because like, people are gonna start calling them some kind of swine.
And you need people to pass the robots the products. You just boop.
Yeah.
Or just refill the ink, like the refillable ink for the 3D printers. Is that how it works? Do you put ink in the 3D printer? Is it
just depends on the medium they're using. It's not ink, but it'd be like, it'd be either metal or it'd be like, clay or.
Is your fabric going to be made of metal? Is chainmail? Are we selling chainmail?
You can
do like anything.
Chainmail by mail. Oh, I love it.
Chainmail by mail, red satin.
So they were building houses with 3D printing using like concrete as the medium. Like that.
They were doing that for Mars, for future Mars homes. Also, they have a program where they're doing that.
That's nuts.
Somebody said drone deliveries.
Yeah,
I'm scared about drone deliveries, guys. I'll be honest. That's gonna freak me out. I don't know. It just seems very. I don't know. It just seems very scary to have a little plane come to my house.
Well, I mean, overall, the sky is already such a scary place to me that it's like, I mean, even when we're flying and things are like if we had flying vehicles, we'd be all over the place. Like, there'd be crashes every 2 seconds because nobody's gonna follow a lane. That doesn't make any sense. They would just be flying wherever they wanted. Especially
if we have all these drones carrying bespoke suits and shoes and jackets.
We're gonna start a drone war.
Bomb-ass jeans.
we made bomb-ass jeans once a few episodes ago. Where it was bespoke jeans.
I like that.
Yes.
Bomb-ass jeans.
Yeah. Drop brands
with Lauren Howard Hayes. That was a good one.
I do like.
But yeah, I mean, we could definitely get them in on it too.
Complete sidebar, but just the drones thing made me think about it. But have you guys downloaded Reggie Watts' app that he has?
No,
it's not.
I think it's called the Watts app. I think if I remember, but it's awesome. It's like a really really ridiculous little thing. He just does all this funny stuff. But he has a thing called drone interviews, and he's like had several celebrities do it. But like the only camera and the only sound that's being picked up is just from the drone.
That's so funny.
So it's like really close to them, but you can't really hear anything that they're saying because the drone is so loud. It's like these drone interviews, they're just like you can kind of hear them talking, and there's mostly drone sound.
That's fantastic.
Perfect waste of time. It's very funny.
Okay, so the CEO of Red Satin does not like drones. He's an anti-droner.
Okay,
you're drone free.
Oh, am I the CEO? Is that you said?
You're the CEO. This is your idea.
This is your idea. Once we have you on, you're in charge of this. So if any progress happens, we get a percentage, but it's all you doing the work.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, as CEO, I delegate. My first thing is to delegate all the work to you guys. And I will.
We're silent partners over here.
I will sit on my tuffet and eat my curds and whey. You know what I'm saying?
And eat my curds.
Well, you could order them straight off the ATM from the food market at our place. And I love that it's like regional. That's so good because then you could like instead of selling ads or whatever, and instead of only being 10 restaurants, you could just pick your category, get dropped off at your house. You walk over there or wherever, and you get your food. It's a virtual mall.
All your local establishments are part of this.
Oh yeah.
So it's like going on Grubhub. Only you actually get to interface with the menu and and see what you want and be like, oh, this, I want that, and then it comes to your house.
And you don't have to breathe on anybody or talk to anybody. I love it. I love that.
So we're doing we're being very compassionate with social distancing, I think, which is important.
Oh, it's super important.
Very important.
Post-COVID times.
Also, you can still keep jobs because people who, like, say you want to call in, right? You're virtual reality. You're like, hey, calling in. whoever you're interacting with can be a person.
Like there's an actual like customer service desk, like there would be at a store.
Yeah,
and that's where the humans are.
Yeah,
Yep.
talk to them at the virtually, but like face to face though. Still, like instead of on the phone, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
would be great for local restaurants. Yeah. Well, and I think especially even after this quarantine's down and stuff, the world, like our whole generation of adults right now, is going to be so much more cautious, so much more germophobic and stuff in general. So I think this is like the perfect time to do a business like this, because it's like, it's like, hey, maybe you want to go back to Dave and Buster's, my favorite place on earth. Maybe you want to go back there, but maybe you're like, I don't ever want to go back there again. It was kind of questionable cleanliness wise way before.
Just a quick grab at Dave and Buster's. I love that.
You go to freaking, Red Satin.
Yeah, and you could get. I mean, since it's your home, you could get booze delivered too. Like, it's part of it. I don't know. I think like that would be.
You can't do that at a mall.
You could upcharge for drinks. You get like a robot dropping you off some booze, checking your ID. It's perfect.
Checking your ID.
I like the idea of getting, like measured and stuff like that too. If they send, it'd be some kind of like control virtual reality like camera that comes to your house and you just spin around. And you just kind of spin around and it gets all of your measurements.
So it's not. We're not doing the ATM anymore, where you go and you get sucked off in a tube or whatever we had said earlier.
I think that's probably what it'd be at the beginning, but as technology grows, it becomes cheaper to have it in your home. People might not even need to go to any store eventually.
I mean, you can do that on your phone though. Like you can measure things.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Warby Parker, you can get your eyes checked and like all that stuff. On your phone nowadays.
On your phone now, yeah, it's crazy.
So it's like they'll be able to do all that.
Yeah. It's so this idea definitely changed drastically over the creation of it. I love that. I like how it started off as just kind of like red satin clothes, and now it's like a whole new world.
Business plan. We already have a business plan.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Oh shit.
New horizons to pursue.
I love when you put like random runs for no reason at all. Whatever.
I always do that. That's my thing. What is there ever a reason for a run? Have you ever?
I think so.
Oh, that makes sense.
You got done so quick. You were just like, yeah, that makes sense. He didn't even explain himself.
No, I was responding to myself. Okay.
I'm very persuasive. I'm very, very persuasive.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been so
You're right. Actually, you're right. You were pretty persuasive.
way to brush somebody off is just before they could say anything. You're right, dude. You're right.
Oh man.
This Aladdin is money. It is money. It's also probably like a copyright infringement.
Yeah, we could probably get like
we're gonna get this thing shut down, and we're gonna need red satin after that.
That's true.
That's what's
okay. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a solid idea. It's a bunch of new technology, but I think it already exists. Like
I feel like it's not even like that much that much new technology. It's just like it's really just the interface that combines everything.
And just the fabric that we're creating, because we're also creating fabric.
That's going to be,
because that's what I think is going to be the what makes us the money.
Yeah,
we make the fabric.
Definitely wore red satin.
Because basically in every mall there has to be like a red satin storefront where you buy like our proprietary like crazy fabrics that are like they have like biotech,
and
stuff. Like because if you're making like a synthetic material clothing and stuff, you can make it. Check your heart rate. It can be sweat wicking. It can be
all the features. Just all the features.
Fire resistant.
Intel processor. RAM.
LED light.
Calculator on it.
Done. Right at the chest.
And we're selling this face scanner, like the headset.
You know how we always
face scanners, like that's probably money. We probably make some money there too.
Oh hell yeah! I like how every teacher used to say in math class when we were all young was like, you think you're gonna carry a calculator in your pocket all the time? And it's like now our calculator phones are better than anything we were using.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
you want to like really make fun of those teachers now, but with this proprietary, fabric and clothing we're making, the calculator can be in the freaking clothes. You're never
yeah, and then you have like
art, and it tells you what math you're thinking about.
Oh,
You're just
yeah.
like, 4, and you're like, all right.
Really complex. 4. You're thinking about math now. 4.
Like, 2, 4, still got it. So we like to take a quick break from everything as we start winding down the show. We do a little segment we call 2 truths and a false, where you say 3 things and we guess which is true, which is false. Really, we only need to guess one.
There are things about you. There are things about you.
There are things about you that people may or may not know.
Okay.
And the crowd can definitely participate. Whoever's watching.
We'll make some judgments.
Make some noise.
Unlike some robots that we will soon employ. Anyways, go ahead.
We are robots. We are employed.
That's the advertisement. Oh, I'm sorry. We're right in the middle of a segment, but that's the advertising. It's like an Amazon commercial, but without real people. It's just like, I am a robot, and then the next robot. Anyways, sorry. 2 truths, 1 false.
It's like creating jobs for robots. Don't be racist.
I don't want to touch you just as much as you don't want to touch me.
Oh, and it's funny. That's so good. Millennials will love that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what they like.
Millennials love that shit. You can always end anything with that, and it may or may not be true.
Sure.
We'll never fucking know.
That's true about anything, by the way.
We'll never know about anything. So
you can end anything with that, and it'll be true or not.
It'll be either true or false, man. One of the two.
One of the two. Okay, so my true or false, true, false, or any in no specific order, would be I had a clown business for 2 years.
Okay, clown business.
Sounds like you're lying, but
I like pancakes more than I like French toast.
Ooh, that also sounds like a lie. You sound like a liar.
My favorite movie is Mortal Kombat.
Oh, is it now?
Those are my 3 things.
Dang. Okay, so
can you pick which one is false?
So clown business.
I want to get on.
Very specific. Very specific. 2 years.
And what was the other one you said? You said
I like pancakes more than French toast.
Pancakes over French toast, and the third one was Mortal Kombat, but with a K, right? Mortal
K, not a C.
Kombat, the movie.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so Mortal Kombat is your favorite.
What do you think?
I don't think that Mortal Kombat is anybody's favorite movie.
I am going to second that motion.
Because I could definitely see pancakes over French toast. I could definitely see that. Clown business. Dude. I could definitely see you in the clown business because you clowning. And then for Mortal Kombat, I just don't know if anybody is like top movie ever made. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, favorite movie of all time. It meets all the requirements for good movies. Action, score. It's Ruben's like, RC's like, it's not.
That's false. It's gotta be false.
So what is it?
Is that your final answer? Mortal Kombat?
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Incorrect. Incorrect. Mortal Kombat is my favorite movie of all time.
But why?
Really?
It is my favorite movie of all time. Lots of things. All the things you guys listed that were bad, acting, score, etc. Those are my favorite things.
I'm a film enthusiast.
I'm very nostalgic about it. It also hits me in the nostalgia bone, which I think that gets movies through a filter for everybody. Everybody has like a favorite movie that shouldn't be your favorite. But Mortal Kombat, man, I've debated this with many people because. I always say it's like, okay, I get people's arguments of like, it's not the best acting or best blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it had the desired effect on me so much so that I love it. I love it. I watch it multiple times a year.
Nice.
I've watched it twice during coronavirus.
Nice.
So true blessing.
I want to hear a lot more about why you love Mortal Kombat, but tell me about your clown business and why you got out of it.
Okay, so do you guys want to guess which one is the false one? Do you know for sure which one?
Because
you guys were wrong.
Oh, so you think clown business or pancakes versus French toast?
I think you love French toast.
Grandison, you're so right.
Okay.
I wouldn't be friends with you if you like pancakes over French toast.
So you've never been in the clown business?
I have been. So yeah. So the lie was that I like pancakes over French toast.
I see.
Pancakes are fine. Don't get me wrong, but
French toast.
Like, give me some French toast.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hands down. My uncle used to make like he used to soak his French toast in this thick old bread overnight, and oh my god,
overnight, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing because it becomes like a custard inside when it's like
and then you fry it, and so it's like.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go deal with some French toast.
You gotta order some Red Satin Mall.
Exactly. Yeah, I did.
French toast. Tell us about the clown business then.
The clown business. So when I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school, like coming up on the summertime, and my mom went to a birthday party for my little sister, or like for one of my little sister's friends or something like that. Brought her, she's like 12 years younger than I was, so it was like a little kid birthday party, and there was a clown there, and she said it was this old lady. I can't remember what her name was, but I always, in my mind, it's Struggles the clown.
Struggles the clown.
She was like, oh, this poor lady, like she had this huge room of kids, they're all crazy, and she would like do a trick, and then she'd turn around and like slowly prep everything very slowly, and then come back and do another thing, and then slowly do it, and the kids were all just bored, and she's like, you're crazy, like you're always wild and full of energy. You should start doing clowns. You should be a clown for like a business. And so I thought about it, and I was like, that does sound like something I could do. However, I don't feel comfortable doing that alone. Like and so I asked my buddy Micah, who already happened to ride a unicycle,
Nice.
and we both juggled. And so I was like, dude, do you want to be clowns? And he was like, yeah. So we sat down, we made a business plan, we did all this stuff. We became
clown business plan.
We did, yeah.
They weren't trying to be funny or clowning around. They were trying to start a business.
We were trying to make money, And we were called Toasty and Crumbs Clowns in Wichita, Kansas. And,
Toasty and Crumbles?
Toasty and Crumbs. Yeah,
okay.
I was Toasty.
Oh, of course, obviously.
I loved it, man. It was so we'd do birthday parties for like a fixed rate, but then the thing that we made a lot of money on was doing like science fairs and carnivals and stuff for elementary schools and churches and stuff, where we wouldn't charge them anything. We would just say, we'll make balloon animals for $1 a balloon, and then we'd be there for like 4 or 5 hours, just like making balloon animals for everybody $1. And like parents were just giving us like $10 bills, and like, it was awesome.
What's your favorite balloon animal to make?
Ooh, I haven't done it forever. But I'm a monkey man in my life.
Do you have any lying around that you could make us a monkey real quick?
I don't have any of that stuff anymore.
Damn it.
No, it's one of those things I want to bring back in my skill set.
I would definitely watch every single episode of your podcast if I knew that at the end of it I get to learn how to make one balloon animal.
I think it's hilarious if like it's a super serious podcast. You're like, and that was the end of the Holocaust. Now I'm going to show you how to make a giraffe out of this balloon.
First of all, what would they have said before that? And that was the end
of the Holocaust. Very good. I would watch that podcast. So if it's coming soon to wherever you find your podcast, podcast about making balloon animals.
It would be awesome.
About the mass genocide.
That would be your podcast, Clowning with Ryan.
Yeah, clowning.
That's freaking awesome.
We talk about a mass genocide, and then we make balloon animals.
It's just about all of the worst people on Earth in the history, and
it's a history of like massacres podcast or something like that, and you're just like,
and that's why nobody really liked Stalin. Anyway, this week we'll be making
use an iguana.
Giraffe. That's amazing, dude. Well, dude, it has been such a good time having the podcast. You are always one of my favorite people. And what are you working on that you would want people to know about? When is your podcast coming out next? Just this is time for you to plug in whatever you want to people listening.
Yeah, man. Well, I will plug the ideaPRTY podcast first of all. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I had a blast talking to you guys. Granted, you're always one of my favorite people too. You know that. Feelings, welcome to Mutual Feelings Town.
Whoa, this is town of two.
Town of two. My show Ryan is Super Strong comes out every week on Tuesdays for free. It's available on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, wherever your podcasts are harvested. So you can get that. Grannison's been on a bunch of episodes. Episode 197 came out this week, featuring a percussionist for the U.S. Army Band. His name is Jake Harpster. He's my best friend, and it was basically just me and him on Zoom getting drunk and complimenting each other for an hour and a half. This is the bromance episode for sure. But yeah, coming up on episode 200 here in a few weeks, and so you can check that out.
Crazy.
If Congrats,
you look up, man, that's a milestone.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm excited. Yeah, it's. I mean, I wish we could do stuff in person, but just how it is, sign of the times. But YouTube, you can look up Ryan Knudsen drums, and that'll bring you to my YouTube as well as like any videos on YouTube that I'm playing drums on, which there's a ton, and with all the different artists and stuff. And I recently did an episode of a new show that's coming out. I have two plugs for some friends. My buddy Matthew Grant is coming out with a YouTube series called Tasty Sounds soon, where he makes music with people and cooks. And I just did an episode where I, spoiler alert, make some stuffed French toast, bringing it back. So check that out soon. I think my episode with him is coming out like in September. And then I just did the theme song to a new Instagram series called Will Eat, which is my friend Will Reno up in Portland. He is doing a show like about eating out during COVID at all of his favorite spots in Portland. So it's like a food hype mini series, and I did the theme song for that.
Nice.
Things like that, and
recording. That work, man. That's great. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
But yeah, if you follow the Instagrams, Ninja Knudsen and Ryan is Super Strong, I always put up all the products that are happening and cool stuff, including ideaPRTY Podcast. So
those guys are funny.
Yeah.
Man. It's been awesome having you.
Thanks. Thank you guys for having me. It was awesome.
You guys can catch us next week on ideaPRTY Podcast. You can either watch us live at ideaPRTYpodcast.com. That's PRTY. Or check us out on Facebook. See our updates and check out our last episodes on Instagram. And we appreciate you guys for being with us. Thank you, Ali, for co-hosting. And we'll see you next week, y'all.
ideaPRTY Podcast.
I might use